Once dubbed part of the permanent underclass, a group of men from North Lawndale, known as the Fellas, are coming home to celebrate brotherhood, resilience, and rewriting the narrative. And one of them joining us today is award-winning journalist and Roosevelt University Professor John W. Fountain. Professor Fountain, thank you for being here with us this morning. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. Thank you for having me.
Yes. All right. So you are a proud product of North Lawndale, a community that has beautiful community, beautiful people, hardworking folks, but for decades has been underserved and often has dealt with a lot of injustice. From your perspective, growing up there, just talk to me about what it was and how that doesn't quite mirror the image that is often portrayed in the media.
Well, growing up on the West Side, I didn't know that I was going to become a journalist. I thought I was going to become an attorney. Okay. But I think it's appropriate that I became a journalist because in some ways as a kid I was always observing, and what the community that I remember is a community that was, we were always playing softball or baseball or strikeout, or the girls were playing hopscotch and the boys were playing hopscotch too, and we were jumping rope and we were racing in the middle of the street, and there were fathers and mothers, and I grew up in a place, a block called on 16th Street in Kaminsky, and Mr. Newell had a sprawling apple tree, and every summer he would invite the boys at the end of summer to come in his yard and climb the tree and shake it, and apples would rain and they would make apple preserves and apple pies and all of that. That was when he allowed us in. Other times we were sneaking into his yard.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right, so some beautiful memories from your childhood in North Lawndale. And so talk to folks about this. It's a series of articles that a well-known paper here in Chicago produced in the 1980s called The American Millstone. And how does that set of articles, while there is truth to it, as we were just talking about, it doesn't provide a complete picture of the experience of the folks in North Lawndale?
Those articles were dubbed The American Millstone, and I guess I'm allowed to say it was the Chicago Tribune, the newspaper that I eventually went to work for. And those series of articles were published in 1984. It was ultimately reproduced as a book in 1985. And we're not saying that the people that they found and that the stories that they found were not accurate. We're just saying it was not a picture in its totality of what life was like. I read that series as an undergrad at the University of Illinois in Champaign, and this was supposed to be a portrait of my life and my neighborhood, and I'm like, I don't recognize this, and so it captured too much of the hopelessness and not enough of the hope. And I grew up in the community, the Fellas grew up in the community of hope.
And so speaking of that hope, we've got some pictures that are on the screen right now. You all are helping to rewrite the narrative and show people that award-winning journalists, lawyers, pilots, amazing professionals have come from the West Side, from North Lawndale. Talk about what's happening next weekend and who you're inviting to come on out.
Well, next weekend, this is really a homecoming for every young man who grew up on the West Side in North Lawndale or K-Town, but calls the West Side home. And you can't see the fellas sitting here with me, but Brian Huckey Sanders and Vidal Sloan Durr and all of those guys, Jesse Thomas, we're going to be there. As a professional, at times in newsrooms, my colleagues would call their friends who they grew up with in elementary school. And I would look at that and I would marvel and I would be sad and at the same time jealous because I didn't have that information of context because we went separate ways. But this gathering has given us an opportunity to come together, to celebrate brotherhood, to celebrate fatherhood on a wonderful weekend.
Father's Day weekend.
And I'm going to be giving away as well copies of my book, Dear Dad, Reflections on Fatherhood.
Okay.
But it really is a time for us to say we matter and that we had a life that is worth remembering. We're one of Chicago's very own.
Absolutely, absolutely. And there are still amazing people coming up out of North Lawndale and the West Side. And where is this taking place at?
It's taking place at Mason School, Roswell B. Mason.
Okay.
And it's a place where most of us attended school, but even those who didn't attend Mason are welcome. Anybody who grew up on the West Side, K-Town, North Lawndale, wherever, come on out
Okay.
and celebrate with the fellas. We know that there's going to be a lot of joy, but there are going to be tears as well. There are people that we haven't seen in 40, 50 years,
Yes.
and we're just going to embrace each other, put our arms around each other, and just love and celebrate life.
All right. Sounds like a wonderful and, of course, worthwhile celebration.
Well, thank
Professor
you.
Fountain, thank you for joining us.
Thank you so much.
The Fellas Reunion, again, is happening next weekend on Saturday, June the 14th at Roswell B. Mason Elementary School from 1 until 8 p.m. All are welcome to come on out and celebrate.